Midwives
Midwives Uncut.
Uncut. That was closer. Welcome to this week's episode of Midwives Uncut. We are talking about a up and coming thing that people are doing right now called sleep training.
It's also a controversial subject.
It's definitely controversial in our book.
Yes.
You'll find out in the next 20 minutes what we think. And we will talk about something, a situation that presented with sleep training and why we had our views about it beforehand, but this kind of solidified our views and our perspective. And so we will talk about it. Sandy will share her story, and then we will go into why we feel sleep training might not be as great as everyone thinks it is. Go ahead,
Right.
Sandy.
So, just by listening to the word sleep training. So think about it, if someone had to train you as an adult to sleep. It's, you sleep when you need to sleep, when you're tired.
Mhm.
As adults, you may have problems sleeping, but you don't need to be trained on how to do that.
Stress or something, yeah.
Exactly, because you naturally need to sleep at some point. So,
Yeah.
However, there is, like Galina mentioned, an up and coming new fad is what I like to call it, called sleep training babies. And there are these sleep training coaches that go to parents' houses and they will essentially sleep train their newborn babies. First of all, just listening to that, to me as a mother, and remembering how my babies figured out a routine to go to sleep and when we established bedtime, it like drives me nuts, because babies cannot figure out the difference between night and day for a long time after birth. As a matter of fact, research shows that they do not produce their own melatonin until they're about 3 months. They produce very minuscule amounts. And so when a mom is nursing in the beginning, especially, she's passing those good, yummy hormones to help them sleep and relax. And whenever I'm, teaching a breastfeeding class or anything like that, I always talk about keeping the lights dim, keeping it, or even completely off at night, so that you start to have your baby get used to that.
Used to it, right.
And then I like to talk about a routine when your baby is starting to get older, because babies look forward to a routine. They like routines.
Kids love it, even for school. That's why schools have schedules. Routine is necessary,
Exactly. And especially young babies, when they are trying to figure out the difference between day and night, and when they're trying to figure out all these different type of stimulation, sometimes they can get overwhelmed. But if you have an established routine at the time that you need it, it helps them look forward to it. It helps them wind down, and it will help to prevent the witching hour, which can happen. So right, there's a lot of reasons why I don't like sleep training, and I'll tell you a recent story that kind of fueled this video. As everyone knows, I'm not only a licensed midwife, I'm a board certified lactation consultant, and I do lactation consultations along with births. And so I saw this mom. She was one of our clients. She delivered with us. Everything was great. She had a beautiful, healthy nursing baby. And the baby right now is about 9 months. And she had given me a call to discuss some issues that she was having with her milk supply. And I honestly was like, are you sure you need a consult? Because she had breastfed her other kids. And I was just kind of confused as to like what happened. So long story short, the baby was very fussy. She noticed that the baby's diapers had gone down, and she also noticed that her milk supply had gone down. So when I dug a little deeper, she had a sleep trainer come over. Mind you, the baby is 9 months. So this was like around baby's 8 months. Okay?
I just have a headache hearing it.
Yeah, I know. And so So, you know, the sleep trainer wanted her to start spreading out the nursing sessions longer. Now, babies nurse not just for food, for comfort, security, and all of that, but also they're just like us. They like to have full meals and they like to have snacks. And we know when we're full, if we have a huge plate of food and we don't finish it, it's because our body is telling us that we're done. But if someone came and took half of that and we're still hungry, then we want to eat more. But why is there someone that's going to stop me from eating more when my body is asking for it? So that was one thing.
Especially during the critical developmental stages
Yes.
where growth spurts occur at different
Yep.
times, and our bodies need the extra protein, calories, sugars, whatever,
Mhm. Yeah, for brain development in general, we need all that extra fats and calories and just the combination of our bodies eating naturally when we need to. So
Right.
she wanted her to start spreading out the feedings. Instead of every 2 hours, she wanted her to go every 4 hours. Okay, even for me, 4 hours.
I can't go 4 hours without eating. I can, but then I'm cranky.
Right, exactly. We do it sometimes because we're at birth for endless amount of hours, but we're adults too. A baby that their stomach is like the size of a small chicken egg that doesn't really hold much. How can they hold that long?
No.
So, I would also like to add that baby is at that point not eating solids either,
Right.
just completely depending on breast milk, which is okay. It's recommended to start introducing solids around 6 months based on your baby's readiness. But if your baby's not ready, then breast milk has all of the good nutrients that they need. My second baby, for example, was a fat roly-poly baby and didn't start eating solids until 12 months. So, side note. But
right. So think of it like this. Now you're taking away the only source of nutrients for this child,
Exactly.
I mean, not even like, I don't know. That's just crazy to me. So anyway, go ahead.
Right. And then she also wanted her to stop nursing her at night as well.
Completely, altogether.
Completely altogether. Yeah. So maybe she would nurse her like before she went to sleep. And then if she got up at night, she wouldn't, or she did some kind of like method where she would try to soothe her back with like a pacifier or something. So we know, and I know from research, babies nurse at night. It is crucial to the mother's milk supply, because when the mother is at their most relaxed state and babies are nursing at night, it is actually helping their production keep up for the demand, the next day and the next day. So when we cut out nighttime feedings, which is a very crucial time for feeding, we are cutting into our supply big time.
And you know what I find interesting? Typically, from speaking to other breastfeeding moms and being a breastfed, I breastfed my kids. The nighttime is actually the last thing. Like when you're weaning, it's like the last thing you wean is the nighttime. So I find it funny that they want to cut that immediately.
Exactly. And so, long story short, cut out nighttime feedings. Let's spread out the feedings. Baby just didn't seem herself. She said she noticed that her diapers were not as full, and she noticed a huge difference in her supply. And when she would pump, she would get like way less. When I saw her, the baby had lost 2 pounds in 1 month.
Oh, that's crazy.
That was extremely concerning to me, because babies should not be losing weight at 8 to 9 months old.
No.
They should be continuing to gain weight. And so when we are reducing our calorie intake and our fat intake, that could negatively affect our babies. That's why it's so important, the first year of life, the nutrients that our babies get, because it sets them up,
Right.
So either way, we designed the plan. We went over different things that were going on and other details that she had. And about 2 to 3 weeks later, I got an update, and she said that baby was so much happier, that she had her milk supply back where it was originally. And, baby was nursing again at night, but it was something that she could handle. And baby had gained the weight back. So that was a positive outcome. But
that is because she recognized something different. Exactly. And you, as a professional, were able to step in and identify the problem and then fix it. Now, not everybody
Can
maybe
do that.
would have recognized that there was an issue going on, and then
Mhm.
it would have
And
led to.
so that brings me to my next point.
Mhm.
I personally, as a midwife and a lactation consultant and as a mother, think that sleep training small babies is dangerous. I do not see, and I'm sure I might get some backlash on this, and I really don't care because this is how I see it as a professional and as a mother, and how I feel. I feel very strongly about this subject. This profession, I was actually researching it. It's like a certificate profession. It's not really like you go to school, like we went to midwifery school, and I
We
studied
studied
5 years.
nutrition. We studied
Right.
the newborn's needs, the normal
Exactly.
weight gain, what's the development. We had all of that training. And
Yep,
then
yep.
you went 5 years more to
Right.
be able to study as an IBCLC, so specifically, targeting breastfeeding. So
Exactly.
we are coming from a very educated background with our
Mhm.
opinion. And it's
Right.
more fact based than anything else, in my opinion.
Right. And researching this, they're charging a lot of money for this, and it's a dangerous thing, and then some of the methods are like the cry it out method, which we now know after many, many years of evidence-based research, the crying out method is not recommended. We teach in our class, right, Galina, that the more you tend to your baby's needs when they need you the most, the more you are teaching them that they can trust you, they can go to
It
you.
builds their confidence.
Builds confidence. It builds a more secure adult later on in life. Okay.
Right.
It's like the milestones. It's like the building blocks at the beginning. So, and then some methods are like, no, we don't teach the crying out method, but we teach the, whichever method they use, I don't think that it should be allowed for a baby that is younger than a year old. Maybe if the baby is like closer to a year and you want to start establishing a schedule and, start to teach bedtime routine because they're going to be in their own crib and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But to market this to new mothers that are vulnerable and are sleep deprived and are looking for any easy way out because they're human, not because they want an easy way out, because they're human and they're tired. Get it?
This brings me to my point about this.
I think it's irresponsible.
My issue is our society does not nurture the postpartum woman. And this is just another example of how we have unrealistic and unhealthy expectations of women after giving birth. And the only way that the woman can survive with the expectations that society puts on us is by getting a good night's rest and not really tending to our kids because we have to do like 50 million other things. And why can't you do that? Well, because raising a child is a full-time job that doesn't get the, the appreciation. And so now we're forced to look at things like sleep training, bottle feeding, just stuff the kid, put cereal in there, stuff the kid up, hold them over longer because there's a freaking rock in the child's stomach. So yes, it does hold it over longer. They don't have the enzymes to break it down, the grains yet. So that I can go and do things for the next 3 hours. So we're not supporting a healthy family, growth. We really aren't. Having these women feeling like they shouldn't be nursing every couple of hours or that their child should be sleeping through the night. I mean, it's another way to not allow us to do and respect our full-time job as a mother. And that is hard in itself,
Well, I also feel that our society and media, social media, everything puts so many stigmas on moms, and we as mothers, because we are guilty of it. I'm sure we do it too, Gillian. We've done it. Mm-hmm. We are way too hard on ourselves.
Yeah, mother's guilt.
We constantly put these false expectations of what type of mother we should be and how much we can handle and how much we can take care of. And we shouldn't do that. We should focus on the fact that being a mom is hard work. It's time consuming, yes, but it can also be rewarding. We should stop being so hard on ourselves and comparing ourselves to other moms. And I will say from my own experience, my first baby, he slept through the night. He was I'm not going to say the word good baby, because there is no such thing as a good baby. It just depends on that baby's personality, their temperament, just like us. Everyone is different. Everyone has different behaviors and temperaments and personalities. Our babies do too. And if we start to recognize that, we will start to recognize the fact that we're not going to have everything as a textbook says and as the mom blog said. So we have to recognize that our babies are going to develop into their own being
differently
and differently. And so my second baby, he nursed every 45 minutes. And every time I put him down, he screamed his head off. But that was just his temperament. And even to this day, 11 years later, he's a very high needs kid. So
it's the way it is.
It's just the way it is. My first one is super independent. He can kind of like just be on his own. And my second one needed a lot of that extra attention. And that's okay.
Well, right. That's just it. That is, human growth, right?
Right.
We're only really with them for that very needy period of their life. Like, let's say a year, 2 years at the most, where we're really like nursing frequently, doing this, doing that, a year or two. Like I'm 40 something years old. And if I, 1 year out of my 40 something years is, I know in the moment it feels overwhelming and I wish my kid could sleep through the night. But that's just not newborn. It's like, I wish grass was blue. Well, it's not freaking blue. So, don't wish for something else. Do something else. Newborns don't sleep through the night. And if they do, you better make sure they're okay.
Right. Well, some newborns can. It's very rare, but some newborns can. But those are the newborns that are extremely satisfied. They've reached their birth weight. You've got their metabolism is different and they're able to sustain themselves for that long throughout the night. And honestly, sleep through the night probably means they're sleeping a good 4 to 6 hours.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Don't forget they're napping all day long too. So you can't expect a full night's sleep. I mean, you just want them to sleep all the time,
Exactly.
They gotta do stuff.
So I'm sure some of the questions are going to be like, what is the solution? I feel like we talk about these solutions all the time. Like, find yourself a village, get help, so that when your baby is sleeping during the day and you need help around the house, instead of you doing some stuff around the house
and not sleeping.
Right. Sleep when baby sleeps.
We say it all the time.
All the time. And then, design a good routine so that maybe when your partner arrives from work, that's when you get your time to go take a shower or go do something for yourself, have that break so that you can regroup. And then your partner gets bonding time, right?
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to do it all.
Lower your expectations.
Yes. Lower.
Really? Like, if you can get one extra thing done a day, great. You are not needing to do all the things that we think that we need to do. And even if you do need to do them, they can wait, the baby is the priority. Your sanity is the priority. We've seen moms lose their shit, and that doesn't help, because now if you think that you had it rough, now you got it rougher, because now you're going crazy and no one's there to help you, So you have to take care of yourself so that you can be the parent, the caretaker that you want to be, Exactly.
I often get these questions from, my breastfeeding moms. Okay, so even in my classes, every single class, I always get someone that says, so when can dad start giving a bottle? Well,
grows a tata.
There are so many other things that your partner can be doing besides feeding. I know feeding is something that a lot of cultures feel is a really big bonding experience, but they will have that time to do that. partners can do bath time, they can do skin to skin, they can do music time. My husband is a musician and he used to like play the guitar and sing to the babies. You know, they can do a walk outside, you know, things that can balance out the workload for mom. And that way they also have that bonding time where they feel connected, because I feel like a lot of times, and I've seen it where partners feel disconnected because they feel like they're not doing anything. You know, mom is doing everything for the baby. That's not true. You don't just
And
have
if
to
that is true, then the woman needs to give the partner more stuff to do that doesn't involve, you know, nursing. Because like
exactly
you said, there's so many things to do. And what's wrong with embracing the fact that we have breast milk and
right,
and that's our superpower?
right.
What's wrong with that? That's it. That's my superpower. His superpower was he got to shoot sperm from his penis. I don't have a penis. I never will. I can never shoot sperm from it. So I'm not going to say, oh, you know, well, when's my opportunity to have a penis and shoot sperm? I don't say that. I just say my thing is when the kid comes out, I get to shoot milk from my boobs instead.
Exactly.
You know, we all have something special, and that's our special thing.
Absolutely. And to be honest with you, you know, skin to skin with the partner is really good because the baby starts to accumulate good germs from the partner to help the immune system build a stronger immune system. They help with the hormones. Partners do get some good, you know, love hormones at the same time. So that is a great bonding experience in time. And then, you know, after the 6 to 8 weeks, which is like crucial to make sure that you establish a good breastfeeding relationship, in general, you can start pumping once a day or having, if you use a Haakaa or something, saving up milk from early on. And then if let's say you want to, I don't know, get your nails done or go get your hair done, or maybe go take a shower and dad wants to feed baby or partner wants to feed baby, go for it. Then at that time, because at that point, baby has already established that good breastfeeding relationship. They're not going to refuse the breast.
But even still, you feed for like what, 20 minutes and then 2 hours or 30 minutes, 2 hours later, the baby's going to want to eat again. You have there's more time where baby is not on boob than when, well, typically than when baby is on boob. We're just so used to continuing to do stuff that we don't, you know, use that time maybe the best way that we always should, you know, and it's a good feed the baby. I used to have moms be like, listen, I'm going to feed the baby and then I'm on my way. And I'm like, perfect. That's great. Cause then you got at least a good 2 hour window where we can, you know, the partner can hold the baby over until maybe a new feeding might be, you know, imminent.
Exactly. So, so in regards to sleep training, I don't agree with it. There's a time and a place. If the baby is older and ready to be able to sleep through the night where it's okay, then fine. But establishing a good routine early on where, for example, like I just had a consult with a mom earlier and I was like, okay, so if you want to start like in the morning, you nurse the baby and maybe you go for a walk outside. And then in the afternoon, you give the baby a bath. And then after that, when it's like 8 o'clock, you put the lights down, put some music, white noise. You do that every single day. That routine will eventually turn into your baby schedule and a bedtime routine. And that is going to help the transition. Whereas just forcing them to do something that naturally they're not meant to do is not going to be helpful.
No, I agree. Okay. So I think we have shared our opinion enough on this topic, and we are really open to any feedback because I genuinely cannot understand, besides what we already stated as what some pressures might be as to why women feel they might need to do this. Other than that, I can't fathom why you would, and maybe it's misinformation. So that's why we do these topics, so we can make sure that the right information gets out there and people learn about what might be good and bad and stuff like that. So if you have questions or you want feedback, feel free to let us know and make a comment. And which way is it? Subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
And then, yes. And our next topic, can we promote our next topic? Do we know what it's going to be? Isn't it going to be?
I think it was going to be on, well, I think maybe we should do baby wearing first.
Oh, okay. I was all excited about the other one, but okay, we will do baby
wearing.
wearing.
The only reason I want is because we have a mama that really wants us to talk about it. Like she even texted me today about it. So I figured we can switch a little bit.
Okay. We'll do baby wearing will be our next topic, which well, both of us are a huge fan of.
Yes.
So, thank you
I have
all.
a slide on it and everything. I don't know if you have your pictures. You have some pictures we can show?
No, you probably have better ones than me.
Okay. So
I
we'll
have
have
the
some,
ones that you saw.
so I'll have some good pictures of us baby wearing and different types and ways to do it correctly. It'll be good.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.